how to make a poster using Adobe Illustrator. And we're going to be using Adobe Illustrator 2020, um, but you could use any version of Illustrator, and most of them are fairly similar, um, with just some differences in the UI. Now, when it opens up, you're going to want to create a new image, a new what they call an artboard. So we press create new, and then from over here, we'll switch to inches, and then we're going to make just a regular 11 by 17 poster. That will be the size that we use. It's basically two 8.5 by 11 sheets put together. You could also select tabloid from the options. So you can either type it or select tabloid. But then here, if you select tabloid, you got to make sure you switch to portrait because I'd like it to be long. And then for the titles, you could call it poster project and then press create. Now, it'll create what's called an artboard, and this is where you put your work. There's an artboard tool that allows you to actually shape the artboard to different sizes, or you can control the size up here. So you see width and height is 11 by 17. I can even lock it if I wanted to. However, another cool feature is to be able to create new artboards. So if you were to make like two posters or multiple posters, um, let's say you're working on like a triptych, you want three different posters side by side, you could press Alt and then click, and it's going to create a copy of the artboard, and now you have two, and so I could have three artboards if I wanted to. Um, but for this project, you only need to do one artboard, and you can even have these be different sizes if you want. I just wanted to show you that in case you need to do this in the future and want to have uh, more posters. Um, Now, once you have your artboard, then it's time to go into putting in some information, thinking about how things are laid out on the page, and um, how you're going to be communicating that information to the audience. It's important to be considering who is going to be looking at the poster and making it easy for them, and also to think about what is all the information I need to put in there. In this example, we're going to be using a poster of an architect, a famous architect. And in this case, I'm going to be using Stephen Hall as an example. He's a famous American architect. Um, and some of the research I've done on Stephen Hall, I've already put into a uh, document. And I I really think that it's the best thing to do when you're putting together a poster, especially if it's an infographic or a poster that has to have information on it, to do your research first. Do not try to start putting together the poster without having some research already done. And then this way I can look at the information I'm trying to communicate, and then I can try to put that on the poster. Another thing is that you're going to want to download the images. So in here, I actually have some of the images that I've used that I want to put. I've already downloaded into a folder called Poster Project. You're going to want to do that as well, because without downloading the images, it will be very slow and tedious to then go and um, copy them. And sometimes when you copy them directly from a website, it's not going to work. Um, and what I've done here is I've also done a fairly good job documenting my sources. So if I need to go back to find more images, for example, if I want to go to the Visual Arts Building, I could find images from his website. I can also find, so here are pictures of the Visual Arts Building that I could take and add to my project. Or I could instead go, I found another website that has images kind of laid out in a little bit easier way for me to look at them all, and I can actually look at all like in thumbnail. I can say, "Oh, that's interesting," and I can zoom in and use this if I want to. Um, and this is actually pretty neat. How he has this is the actual texture that he has on the outside of the building, where you can see there's these almost like a mosaic um, that is kind of all around the whole thing. It's really neat. Anyway, um, so download your images into a location like this, into a folder, and then that'll make it that much easier to put it together. Now, um, from there, you can start adding things to your poster. I'm going to pause the video now and let you get to that point, and then we're going to start talking about how to use these tools. See you again in video 2.